Hola, buenos dias. Yo soy Melissa Woods. I hope all is well with you today. I think I'm gonna make this kind of a Sunday thing of just coming on doing a short video, kind of documenting and talking about a few things that is going on with me. I wanted to talk to you about 2025 being the year of 9, and also represents the year of Oya, the Orisha Oya. So I want to talk about this because I live in Alvarado, Veracruz, in the great country of Mexico. And I want to talk about the kind of the reasons why and what led me here. Okay. Oya is actually the keeper of the ancestors. And I made a post earlier this week just talking about if you need a sign to say, should I have a ancestor altar? Yes. Yes. You should have one, especially this year. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of us are in need of like guidance and finding our purpose in life. I know that you all understand that your purpose is not just to go to work, take care of some children, and whatever else that you decide to do. You have a purpose. Everyone does. It's up to you if you decide that you want to live in that. So, as I said about the Ancestor Altar, I do have one currently where I live now. And I will say a little bit about that. I will not show you my altar. But I have my mother who passed away in 2009 I actually have her driver's license on the altar. And I have a picture of my uncle King Woods. So both of those people represent my mother and my father's side of families. Those and they represent those ancestors. So I live very, very close to a community called Mandinga. And one thing that happened this week, this week was a pretty good week. I actually received the package. It was actually a check that I have been waiting on for almost a month to get to me. I received that this week. I took my son, he celebrated his 23rd birthday last week. And I took my son, my Mexican fam, Mimo and Alfredo. I took them out we saw the movie Sinners. And it was great. It was great. We actually ended up in like this VIP theater, and I was like, oh my God, this is cool. We had drinks and food and shit, so it was cool. But and one other thing was I woke up one day and I was pretty much like, I guess I should be working on something. I've been an educator for many, many years, and I haven't been doing that. I actually do not work. I'm in my retirement mode at the moment. I don't have like income coming in. It's been me. It's been my ancestors. It's been my spirit guides that have led me here. And we making this thing work. So I I got up one morning and I said, okay, maybe I could, visit the schools of this Afro-Mexican community of Mandinga and help them with their English skills. And there's one thing that they are teaching. In some of the schools, they are teaching English. And of course, you make more money if you know Spanish and English, if you're bilingual. And so I said that would be my contribution to the community, is to, teach them some English skills or whatever. But what ended up happening, and this is through someone that works in the complex that I live, ended up hooking me up with one of the municipal agents for Mandinga, and she is actually working on a project to have Mandinga recognized as an African settlement, as a Afro-Indigenous Mexican settlement. And when I've heard that, and she also mentioned Yanga coming through here, which is one of the reasons why I'm here. And I'll talk a little bit about that too. But she mentioned she was working on this project and trying to get that recognition. They're actually 425 years old at this year. And so I'm like, okay, I get it. All right, so let me help with whatever they need help with. And I know I was led here, basically. I know I was led by Spirit to come here and to assist, you know. The more I've lived, the more I've been in Mexico, the more I'm having these experiences, I'm learning more about myself. And the reason why I have done things the way I've done it throughout the years. I've moved around a lot. I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee. Let me say that because apparently there's multiple Memphises. But originally from Memphis, Tennessee. But I've lived in Mississippi. I've lived in Vegas and Nevada. I've lived in California, and now I live in Mexico. And one of the reasons why I feel like I've moved around so much is because my ancestors moved around so much, you know? So probably, I think, a couple years ago, and I did 23andMe, and I think last year I did Ancestry. But what came up for me was that I was only 10% European, when the average African American is 20 to 25% European. So that right there said to me, like, wait a minute, how did that happen? You know, we are a mixture of different things, but one thing for sure, we're gonna, you know, be European. But because we were enslaved, because we were on these plantations, and of course, you know, what happened. But for me to only be 10, I'm like, okay, so my folks wasn't fooling with Europeans like that. Some kind of way they were not. And so when I did Ancestry, it opened it up a little bit more for me when it said that, okay, I have Indigenous American on my father's side and on my mother's side, but there's Indigenous Americans in two separate places. My father's side was the Indigenous. I got the Indigenous DNA from him, and that was from the United States, Canada. My mother, her side had Indigenous from Mexico. Now, of course, who knows these things? She wouldn't have known that. So, as I've done my research and everything, I'm like, okay, I get it. So basically, my ancestors were runaway slaves, and where they ran to, they mingled with and interacted with the indigenous people of those, wherever they were. And so that's how I ended up with this Afro-Indigenous ancestry. So, getting back to the reason why you should have an Ancestor Altar. My ancestors have led me to this point. This is not something that I woke up and said, oh, I want to live in Mexico and I want to do this work. I am very much interested in learning about all the communities that are where the African is represented outside of the United States. I've been to Belize, where they thought I was Garifuna, the Afro-Indigenous community of the Garifuna that resisted slavery. They were never enslaved. And they're from the island of St. Vincent. And then you have Yanga, Veracruz, Mexico, where they definitely, Yanga and his followers resisted slavery. So I have been throughout my life where if I don't want to do something, I don't like what's going on in a place, I'm out. Deuces. So I feel like that is why I have moved the way I've moved. And now I'm here. I live very, very close to Mandinga. And it has been an amazing experience. I live in a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath condo with a balcony, a view of the sea, what they call the sea. And someone comes and cleans the place. I have my amigos, Mimo. Mimo is my tutor, my Spanish tutor, my tour guide. This is my amigo. And then through Mimo, I met Alfredo. And Alfredo takes me where I need to go, when I need to go. So I'm pretty much taken care of around here. And I know the only reason is because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm following the lead, and my guides are guiding me where I should be and where I need to go. So that's what I want to encourage you to actually build your ancestor altar. Those people that have passed on, your mother, your grandmother, those people that loved you, your father, whoever that loved you and you loved them. Maybe if you have the names of ancestors that you didn't know, like I know the names of my ancestors that were in the 1800s. I would have never known them, but I do honor them and what all they have done, what they did and what they continue to do, basically. So that's my take. I wanted to be kind of short, but I'm doing like 12 minutes right now. But I want to take this time to honor those ancestors. This is that year. This is the year to do this. Honor those ancestors, those good ancestors, my spirit guides. Ashe. Be well.